Okay, and good morning, folks. My camera resolution appears to have changed again. That's an excellent start to the day. I'll figure out why in just a second. Sounds like the audio is working, so that's an exciting start. Sorry for the late start this morning. Things got a little bit hectic, and my computer decided that today was a great day to have some invalid blocks, so it wouldn't boot. So I've got my wonderful morning coffee in my California You Are Here mug. And we are going to look at, what are we going to look at today? So we're going to do some live coding for collecting ASF diversity metrics. I actually made a sort of quasi-tangentially related PR yesterday into the Spark website project, which I might go take a look at and see if it's ready to merge. But there was some discussion on it, so there's a chance that the discussion is still ongoing and will take a few seconds to a few hours to resolve. And so I've got my work laptop here, which is the machine that's normally connected to the cluster. Oh, I remember what happened. Okay, damn it. It's got some credentials on it that I meant to transfer to my laptop, but life got a little hectic this morning, as you can see. So I'm going to disappear underneath my desk for a second. It's magic. It's kind of shitty magic, but it's still magic. Hey. Hey. I'm back. My disappearing act. Great success. Okay. Let's see if I plugged the right thing in or not. That does not look like I did. Oh, crap. Oh. Disappearing act part 2. Okay. And that was the sound of my fancy new UPS turning on, which... all kinds of fun. Yay! Okay, and so fancy work laptop is starting up, and I can get my credentials off of it. Today, we're actually gonna go sort of more through the process than I normally do, because, well, I've done a lot of my live coding with this notebook on this machine. I'm actually home in San Francisco, and it seems like a good excuse to walk through setting up sort of the gcloud SDK to get access to our cluster, and then we can do our actual coding there as well. So I'm going to go over here. Let's go over and get the gcloud SDK Ubuntu. Yeah, so okay. Fancy quick start guide. Let's bring it over here. Ooh, quick start guide. That looks like what I want. That seems reasonable. Yeah, our Ubuntu release has not reached the end of life yet, so that's good. Oh, I have to switch, sorry. Switch it to live mode. I'll go ahead, drag this over. Is being a little weird with the resolution. So I'm guessing the drivers changed on me magically overnight. So we're just going to go ahead and just have Holden. Yay! And a little bit of my last name chopped off, kind of weirdly. And let's go ahead, update this. Live coding for collecting ASF diversity info. Go ahead, put this in our review info. It's not actually a review, but just call it reviewinfo.txt because it's easier for me to remember. This looks good. Yeah, this would be something to run as root. So, cool. Install the Google Cloud SDK. And this is just because I'm running this notebook on Google Cloud Dataproc, because it's a lot easier for me to just spin up clusters there. But you can do the same work sort of regardless. It's just a little slow, but that's okay. While it's running, we can go take a look at what this is for. So it's going to be github.com/holdingk. Oops. Yeah, so diversity analytics. So this is the repo. And so analytics for Apache project diversity info. And if you're interested in sort of contributing to this, you can fork this and take a look at it. Okay, cool. Setting up there. So gcloud auth. Gcloud auth. Login? Yeah. Okay, cool. And so this takes us here. I'm going to hit use another account. That's actually my wife's email address. Let's see here. Does LastPass remember? Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and, because I use a distinct account for work, it's not one that I really keep on my keyring here. It's not my google.com account, but it's just this sort of distinct account so that, you know, if I change jobs and they deactivate my account, I only lose my work-related stuff or something like that. Also, so I don't have to pay for shit, because if I do it this way, glorious employer will pay for things. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and open up my credentials on this other computer really quickly, where you can't see them. Secrets, but mostly so that I avoid accidentally showing everyone password again, like the last time I did this. Okay, so let's go ahead. Boo programmer at gmail.com. Did I misspell? Boo. Boo programmer. That's weird. Is it programmer boo? Could have gotten that mixed up. Oh, maybe it was. Okay. Oh, let's click here. So programmer boo. Cool. And so we say allow, and now I'm authenticated. So now I can go ahead and access my SDK, and I can access the gcloud SDK, and I can use this to create a tunnel into my network. So I'm also going to install, and it's actually, I don't know if I have this installed on this machine. I normally have a setup script that I run on new machines, but I might not have. So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's see if we have SSH Shuttle installed. I didn't realize SSH Shuttle was an apt, so that's kind of cool. And this is a project that was originally created by one of my former managers back when I worked at Net Integration Technologies. And the person who initially created it is now also at Google. Okay, I have a little script that I'm just going to SCP over. It's called start jump 2, and it just creates a little thing. So Holden at 192.168.124. Yeah. Sorry for doing all of the setup work live, but maybe it's a fun opportunity to learn things. Oh, am I on the right network? I have two separate Wi-Fi networks that can't really actually talk to each other. for security, also known as breaking things. Sorry, my cynicism is a bit high. Okay. Cool. So chmod a+x. Let's run this and hope it works. Ah, weird. Okay. So gcloud config set project. Gcloud config get project. Get value. So it's booz demo projects are rad. Cool. And now what this does is this goes and it creates... oh, crap. This computer's SSH key is not currently configured. So let's go ahead and... actually, do I have a... this is a relatively new installed machine. Okay, there is an ID RSA pub. So SCP ID... well... actually... yeah, let's see if I can do that in here. So let's go swap into Programmer Boo on Google Cloud. We'll go into console mode. I don't remember how to do this, so I'm actually going to look it up. Gcloud add SSH key. Oh, wait, can I do this from the command line? That would be cool. Yeah, I have a new SSH key. Adding or removing. Yeah, so we could do it here, or we could also do it. Yeah, no, it sounds like the web UI is going to be less painful. Go to the Google Cloud Platform Council and go to the metadata page. Okay, let's go ahead and find metadata. That is not there. That's cool. Is there something in here? Go to the metadata page. Oh, updated terms of service. Yes, that's fine. We select our... oh, this is the wrong account. Go ahead. Yeah, so booz demo projects are rad. And we edit our SSH keys and we add an item. And I am going to go cat. Cool. And this is just my new desktop. And there we go. Save. Yeehaw. Okay. I wonder if we have to restart the cluster to actually put the SSH keys on it. Looks like we would. That's unfortunate. Because I don't really want to restart the cluster, but that's fine. We might as well. And so this will take about 10 seconds and give me a chance to drink some more coffee, which is very important in my life. Actually, it'll probably take about 30 seconds and give me a chance to catch up with some coffee. So it's going to run on my other laptop, and while that's going on, we can go look at the notebook that we're going to be working in shortly. And as we can see, it's been a while since I touched this notebook. It's actually been a while since I updated this notebook in GitHub, which I need to do after this. But we can see that what this does is this goes, it gets information about the people who are PMCs and committers on each project. My wife is going to work, apparently, I think. Yay. And then In addition to that, it also has a bunch of tools to do non-blocking work, because we never really merged that into PySpark, which isn't great, but I don't want to block forever when I'm doing certain parts of this. And it collects information about all of the commits that have happened in the different projects. And then it also collects a bunch of information about the mailing list. And it also tries to look up information from different data sources. And one of the things while I was at FOSS Backstage last week that came up was one of the things that I'm interested in, because we're looking at sort of gender diversity information in the ASF. Figuring that out is kind of hard, but we can at the very least get an idea of what someone's perceived gender is in the community based on the pronouns that people use responding to that person's messages. And then we don't have to depend on a survey and the low response rates associated with that. And while this won't give us a true measure of the people's genders, right, like sometimes people use the incorrect pronouns for people, it will give us an idea of sort of the perceived gender of the different people involved in the project. And it'll be easier to do for people like committers or PMC members, where there's very sort of standard style emails for like, hey, we're welcoming these new people as committers or PMC members to the project. And for people who are, more contributors with code or mailing list, it'll be a little harder, and we can probably get some human help from the internet with that. But I think it's still a better approach than the alternative of trying to get survey responses, which, when you have several thousands, when you have over 1,000 people contributing to one project like Apache Spark, trying to get a survey response to that is kind of hard. So let's see here. It is still, so it's torn down the old cluster and it's tearing up the new cluster. And so this will just be a second or two. We can try connecting to it while it's creating the cluster. Yep. Oh, damn it. Cool. So that was just trying to connect with hcaro, which is my username on the other computer. That's my work username, but in other places I use Holden more commonly. And so the key was associated with Holden because by default it picks the username there. So now we are client connected, and we have this nice little tunnel going. There's a good chance that things haven't actually finished launching yet, but we can go ahead and take a look at this. So we can go Holden-magic-m, and we'll try this port first. And we can see that we have our little Hadoop cluster here. It's super happy. There's no applications running just yet, so that's that's where we're at. We'll go ahead and punch in 8123. Yeah, so the Jupyter notebook that we're going to use hasn't started yet. Before it launches the notebook, it installs a bunch of things, and so that's just why it's not ready yet, and it takes a little bit of time to install everything. And in the meantime, we can go back to this notebook and talking about it while we wait for it to install all of the dependencies. Oh yeah, this is old stuff. I was going to swap this out for NLTK. Fetch mbox IDs. Yeah. And so this is the part where we get all of the information from the mailing list archives, and we need to do some processing on this. But we can see that there's a lot of really interesting information here for us to take a look at. Well, let's go Apache mailing list archives. Yeah. And so, for example, we can go and take a look at spark.org, and we can take a look at the dev list. We can pick this month for all we know, and we can see that there's all kinds of all kinds of posts, and yeah, lots of discussions here, and we can use some of these discussions to figure out information about the people who are working on the project. Cool. Let's try once more. This is taking a while. Okay, while I'm waiting for the cluster to get created, I'm going to hop over and take a look at the Spark website PR from last night and see if, okay, there are 20 comments, 1 per hour. That's not great. And this is pretty basic. Let me rephrase it. This is not a large code change. It's swapping a logo around for Pride Month, and there's been some discussion as to whether or not this is appropriate. Yeah. So, okay, yeah. This discussion is definitely not at all really about the code changes, but there's some mixed views, and there's no sort of summation at the end which would let me merge it. Right now I want to wait a little bit before I merge this. So maybe sometime today we can merge it. Hopefully we can resolve the remaining issues soon. I'm gonna go ahead and poke at the machine, and we can figure out what it's waiting on. So Holden-magic-m, this is the master node of the cluster, and we can go ahead and see what's running. Looks like Java is using most of the CPU, as I would more or less expect, although I also see C++ using a lot of the CPU, which is probably the sign that we're still installing pip related packages. So let's go ahead, psauxf, pipe it to less. Yeah. Interesting. It's running assembler.py out of memory. Spark history server has started. So Spark is up and running. Or at least parts of Spark are up and running. Which is good. I don't know why I don't have a notebook yet. Let's go into var log, and there's like a setup part, tail-n 5 or something. It's is it the Google Data Proc agent log? Let's take a look at which of these files is more recently modified. Okay, yeah, 1628. This one looks like most. Oh, here we go. So this is our initialization script, which is custom, and we can see that right now what it's doing is it is installing the NLTK models that we're going to use. Yeah. Okay, and so it's doing that setup work for us. Oof. Yeah, and this, even on a relatively fast machine, can take a while, and this gets installed per machine, and unfortunately, just because of the way how the setup scripts work, and also because of how the notebook works, we install all of the Python packages before we start the notebook environment. So this will take a little bit. Oops. And that's my alarm to wake up and go to work, which is very exciting. or I mean, at least somewhat exciting to me. We'll let that run for a little bit and just see how that goes. Yeah. How's it coming along? I'm gonna, let's see here. Okay, yeah, so now we can see it's kicked off the main installing Jupyter part. And so Jupyter is installed successfully, so we should be able to go ahead and actually look at our notebook, which would be all kinds of exciting, because that's what I want to do. Except, yay, okay, cool. And this part's actually kind of convenient here. We can see it says last modified 15 hours ago. And so even though we did restart the cluster, and I have changes that I haven't put in Git, it actually keeps track of them for me in this Google Cloud Storage bucket, so that I don't have to like worry about stuff. So that's cool. That's a pretty good start. I'm gonna go ahead and double check really quickly before I scroll down too much further here, that I took out the part where I was printing out a piece of authentication information for debug reasons, just because I really don't want to have to change my token there again after the last time I accidentally shared that with everyone. So I'm just going to check that. Actually, I can just go ahead and drag this. I'll be right back. It's going to go over here into the other window for just a second. And gh_. Yep, looks like I no longer do that. Okay, cool. And yeah, so the part that I was just checking is to make sure that I wasn't printing out the GitHub token, the things that I was loading from the secrets.literal. So that's exciting. And let's go ahead and start running these. So this will give us a Spark session. We can check and make sure. Oh, right. So this is an existing bug. This is unfortunate. It looks like we still have not fixed it. Even though I set the UI to be enabled, there's an issue which is preventing the UI from being enabled. I'm running a sort of special pre-release version of Dataproc, which is presumably where this error is coming from, which is inconvenient, but it's also not the end of the world. And so we're gonna go ahead and just get some of our information in here about, you know, the committers on the projects, and this will take a little bit of time. We're going to go ahead and load these non-blocking tools that we use later. Honestly, I mean, I wrote a bunch of code to look up meetup information because I thought there might be some interesting correlations there. Really haven't had the time to do much with this, and for now, because the meetup API is pretty restrictive in terms of how frequently I can query it, I don't actually do anything with it. Like, I construct the RDD, but because Spark is lazily evaluated, the fact that I have this part commented out means that we won't actually do anything there. And that's fine. This fetches the project GitHub data. This fetches the Git history using Percival. And that's fine. Yeah, we can skip these two. These are really debugging related. Yeah, so, and this is the first place where we use this non-blocking df save or load thing. And what this does is it says, hey, go ahead and if the target path doesn't exist, save the result out. If it does, just read the result back in. And either way, don't block on this. And so, yeah, this is a little slow here, I think, from what I remember. This extracts the email addresses. This is the new pandas UDFs in Spark, which is kind of cool. It means that it's actually accelerated and will happen a fair amount faster than our old UDFs, because we use a more efficient method of transferring the data from Java to Python. This didn't work last time, so let's run it and find out what its problem was. Oh, it still doesn't work. Okay. This seems like a good point as any to jump into. What makes you sad? Strip drunk series object has no attributes split. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't know why. So this was not originally a pandas UDF. This was a just a regular Spark UDF. And one of the things that I forgot is that we actually need to do this part. And so, oh shit! What the fuck was that? Fuck. Okay, so we go ahead and we rewrite this to be a lambda expression. And that should work. That's input series. And so essentially, instead of operating on individual elements, we now have series of elements. And so def extract email record, and so we're going to make this a function. Boop, 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 boop. And so this is a function now. This operates on individual records, just like we would want. Not sure why we return. I'm not. Oh, yeah, okay. So this is. I remember now. I'm going to leave a comment here because I got confused as to what the point of this was, which is a good sign that I should leave a comment about this. Of the form fubaz at baz.com into fubaz at baz.com. And the nice thing is, because we apply these two UDFs in series, they actually get chained together inside of Spark, and we don't have to copy the data twice, I think. And this is yeah. So then we go down here, and then we go ahead, extract, input, return input series dot apply extract email record. Boop. Let's see if that works. Yay! It worked. Small success. Very small success, but still. So yeah, we go from author to email, and it makes me happy. I'm not entirely sure about this part here. So we call extract. What is strip drunk on? Oh, okay. Strip drunk is on commit date. So we take a discard time zone information. Who needs that anyways? More accurately, we don't care about that here since we're looking at a year-long window. And so this, like, we might get off by like a few records on either like sort of year boundary, but time zones are a pain in the ass to deal with if you don't have to. And so, yeah, cool. Yeah, I should have put docstrings in there initially so I knew what the hell was going on. But it's a good reminder that things which seem super obvious when you're first making them, not always the most obvious. It's kind of cool. Should probably actually have tried to extract the name information here in addition to the email. Well, yeah, let's write that UDF while we're here anyways, because names are kind of useful to some degree. Although, well, yeah, let's write the UDF. Whether or not we use it, we'll find out. Extract name. And turn it into fubaz. Oh. Apparently someone was trying to steal my wife's scooter this morning, which is very sad. I'm gonna take a momentary interlude to message her and ask her if she's okay. My apologies. Just because that can be a very scary interaction to walk up to your vehicle and see someone trying to steal it. Some of the joys of living in San Francisco with extreme wealth inequality and disparity. So let's go ahead. Okay. It sounds like she's okay. And so this is, normally here I would return none, but there's a bug in how pandas UDFs are done where when we return none it fails. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to return this. It's not great, but until that bug is fixed, it's really the only way to work with these UDFs. So we're going to go ahead. Extract boop, name, alias, name. And we can deal with that later. There's some tools inside of Spark to work with that. So let's go ahead. Okay. Oh, right. I forgot a comma here. Cool. Go ahead. Run show. Interesting. My regular expression is a little off, so we are going to go ahead and we're going to try this. See if that works. Interesting. re.findAll may not actually do what I want in this case, so let's go ahead and look up how to do grouping. Well, what about if I do this group? Boop. Boop. I'm more or less assuming that Python regular expressions are kind of like Perl regular expressions, which may be somewhat of a downfall. Well, that is not a happy error message. That looks like I did not write a valid regular expression. Okay, let's go look up the Python regular expression manual together. Let's go look at some examples. Yay, how to. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, one really kind of questionable approach would be this. Match everything except for that, and then match that. But I think that's just gonna... Yeah, so then if we put brackets around the first one as our capture group, yeehaw! It worked! Success. And by worked, I mean it worked on 2 examples, so it probably works on all. Which is to say, I'll probably have to come back here because it's broken. Or I will find out it's broken later on in the processing. Turn it into probable name. E.g. Fubath. Okay, and the name is useful because there's a bunch of tools to infer gender based on name. They're not perfect, so I'm a little suspicious of like trying to use them, but I think it would be useful to have a second data point to go along with the other techniques that we're going to try. So, yep. Oh, yeah, because we changed this and it's not perfect, we're going to have to change this 3 into a 4. Super great. It's like new underscore info dot underscore 2 for reals. So this looks up a GitHub user for a given email address. This will probably take a while. And so in theory, PyGitHub handles the backoff, but because we're running it in parallel, it's not going to work so well. So we have this extra little exponential, not exponential backoff. We have this extra little manual backoff where if things go sad, we just back off. Should probably, in the normal path, to be nice people, do a 30-second sleep. Maybe not 30. Whatever. Let's put in just a 1-second sleep. Even if we don't get told to back off, we should be nice neighbors. Cool. And so this fetches the GitHub usernames for people. Right. And so I was going to check. This is probably, so these are some old debugging pieces which are left in the notebook, which is not a good sign. We don't need this anymore. This part is going to take a really long time to run, from what I remember. This part is probably going to fail. Oh, no, it actually succeeds. Interesting. Huh. Oh, which actually probably means that this UDF is wrong, because this UDF should not succeed. right, because we have this as a pandas UDF again, as we did up earlier, but this is operating on a single element, so this needs to be the inner function. Fetch individual, and we go ahead and we make our outer wrapper. Whoops. And someone is asking me if I know Sparkorg and can review their PR. And the answer to that is I do not know R well enough to review their PR, but I'll point them in the right direction after this live stream is finished. We'll be able to go from there. Yeah, and, you know, doop, doop, doop. So that's good. This is the sort of inner function. We go down here, and we go ahead and we call return logins.apply individual fetch GitHub user bio. And we're actually going to go ahead and move the import up here because we don't need to do the import each time. And we should be using an authenticated client. We've got that actually up above inside of here. So we're going to go ahead and move this here. Actually, yeah, we should also probably, we don't need to recreate the client each time. We only need it once here as well. Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, cool. I forgot to indent this subblock. And we can see we have the same thing where we return the empty string because of how things happen. Cool, that works. This part should now, this still works. What the hell? Huh. I'm confused as to why this is working, which is never a great sign. Yeah, when something works unexpectedly, that's the sign that something is going to go wrong pretty soon. But, let's go ahead. We're gonna run this, run this, run this, and run this. And this part here takes takes a while when it succeeds, does not take so long when it fails. Ah, sleep is not defined. Sleep is not defined? Oh, up here. Wait, what? Do I have to import time? Sleep 1. Oh. Import time.sleep 1. Yay! Okay. Whoops. Let's go back up in here. Yeah, actually this, once again, can be moved up here as we noticed. So this changes the indentation. And this way we reuse the import time. Time.sleep. This is kind of a hack, but what else? there's a good chance this is also going to run into timeouts. Yeah. We're going to do the same kind of not great hack, but it's import time. It's an easy enough sort of hack. Where say, hey, if something went wrong, just sleep a while. And we could do proper exponential backoffs later, but for the purposes of today, I just want to get this shit done. Oh, we should also sleep in the happy path. Because while PyGitHub does do it, it's not really designed for multiple nodes querying. Cool. This is going to run for a while. And I'm going to respond to my coworker who is going to go meet me for donuts. But as I realized last night, the donut shop is closed. Oh, cool. It worked. Yay! A surprisingly low percentage of these email addresses are associated with, Interesting. With GitHub usernames. I'm actually really curious about some of these right here. Like, these two people look like they might be the same person, and that distinct didn't actually work. So I'm a little curious here. It's possible they just changed their email address a little bit, like maybe they changed employers. Which is a little complicated. And I was hoping that we could dedupe this with GitHub usernames. Because, for example, for myself, I've had multiple email addresses, but I have, they're all in my GitHub profile, so they all come back to the same GitHub username. So I can actually dedupe them. But a lot of these people are not GitHub users. So the hope that I could use this to sort of decrease the amount of data that we had to shift through has not really panned out. On the plus side, this works, which is kind of cool and unexpected. So I'm pretty excited. Authors to GitHub username. Yeah. Ahead, swap this into -2 since we made a few changes here to how this works, and we are going to go ahead and kick this off non-blocking. Now I could call the .show here, which is what we would do if we normally did cell run all. We're going to skip it because I know that could take a long time. Oh crap. Why is it sad? API rate limit exceeded. Yeah, damn it. It should have been caught inside of the try-catch block. Actually, let's take a look at so it's inside of inner lookup GitHub user by email. So let's go take a look at inner lookup GitHub user by email. So we do try. Oh, interesting. This part may also be resulting in a request. I'm not super sure. I wish I had a line number here. I don't. So, because I don't have a line number here, I'm going to go ahead and, 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 I'm going to go make this a function so that I can see if it's happening inside of here or if it's happening somewhere else. So def process result. Whoop. Cool. Yeah, and so now we return process results users. Yay! And now if it is an error inside of here, it'll show up in our stack trace. So let's go ahead and run this. Oh, right. Damn it. So one of the things which I haven't done a great job of inside of the non-blocking df saver load, which I should do, is when we save to a file, if we get an exception, we leave it around. Oh, that's weird. Okay, now we're going to call .show and see what happens. And here is where I would expect to get our lovely stack trace. Yay! We do. Scroll back down. So, okay, API rate limit exceeded. Okay, so it's happening inside of process results. So indeed, this is this part is apparently also resulting in a separate request, which I wasn't aware of. I thought we got all of the results information back here. So let's go ahead and put that in. And so we'll just put a time.sleep. This is not great, but like I said, we can actually at some point pretty soon, given the number of times I repeated this pattern, I should put an exponential backoff utility function in this notebook and just use it. I'll do that after we finish debugging this part. Actually, maybe I'll do that later on tonight, and we'll look at it next week together. We're going to go ahead and swap this 1 for a 5. Okay. Cool. I love coffee. So this is taking a while, which is a good sign. It means that our backoff is actually probably running. Yeah. Okay. So honestly, I mean, it's 10 a.m. and while we did spend most of today doing our setup work, I am hungry and have not eaten breakfast. So this seems like a good enough stopping point. We're at a point where this is going to take a while to run because we've changed how the backoffs are done, and I'll probably change it again tonight, just because that's how it is. I'm going to checkpoint this, save and checkpoint, and I'm actually also going to download this notebook as an IPython notebook. And I'm going to update the GitHub page if anyone wants to, take a look at it. It'll be on the GitHub page as well. And I'll continue this next week as well. This Friday, I will be doing my regular code review, and that is youtube.com user Holden Caro. You can subscribe here. You can set a reminder here to be notified of when this one actually starts. You can also do the same thing on Twitch, twitch.tv, Holden Caro. And then you go into events, and you can see, oh, I should change this. This has cropped it off, so it's just me holding some mate. But you can hit remind me to be notified of when this one's going to happen. So thank you all for joining me. This Friday, I will be doing the regular code review of Happiness and Fun Times. I definitely hope to see you there. For the code review, it's an excellent opportunity to learn more about how open source projects work. And actually, on that note, I'm going to check and see what the latest comments are on this PR really super quickly. 21 comments. One more comment. Maybe someone's okay with me merging it. Maybe they're not. Yeah, okay. So it sounds like it's probably okay to merge. There's one person who's not super happy about it. But because of that, I'll wait probably a few more hours before I merge this PR. And I'll probably do like a super brief mini live stream today where I just walk you through merging a PR. That'll probably be later on in the evening. It's not going to be really scheduled, but you can definitely watch the recording of it on my YouTube page. And if you subscribe to be notified on both Twitch and YouTube, you can get a notification whenever I go live. So thanks for joining me. For those of you who celebrate, happy Pride. It's Pride Week in San Francisco, which means that my schedule is a little busier than normal, and I'll be riding my scooter for all of the marches and parades this weekend. So thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you Friday morning in the live stream, and maybe I'll see some of you at Pride in San Francisco. For those of you in New York, I will be in New York super briefly for Scala Days, New York, and I hope you can come join me there. I will be talking about keeping the fun in Apache Spark, datasets, and functional programming. And that is going to be on the Wednesday, the June 20th, I believe. So thank you all for tuning in. Have a wonderful week, and I hope to see you all around. Ooh.